traders, right? All of us trading. And how many of you have had losses? First important thing, have losses. I had huge losses. So losses are part of the trade. It's the investment we make profits. Yeah. So now this session is actually very important. It's about the market analysis. How to measure the market. How to see where is it going. How to check when would it get in favor of us. So this is very important thing. So I hope you'll pay good amount of attention over it. Again, what is forex? We all know what is forex because we are all traders over here. $4 trillion which has been the amount of money which has been traded every day in forex. It is 53 times of New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange is the biggest market in terms of stock market. Forex market is 53 times bigger than New York Stock Exchange. Okay. Next. This is just a presentation. I mean, you can see, like, if you consider New York Stock Exchange, you can see forex market is mammoth in front of New York Stock Exchange. Next. So, do you think that, okay, this $4 trillion is only coming from us, from traders? No. For example, if I'm a company and let's say I'm Apple, okay, and I am trying to buy some parts from China. So my money is actually going to China, right? That is also counted in forex. So forex is not only the spot which is happening, but so much of amount of transaction which happens in business, everything is counted under forex. So out of those 4 trillion, 1.49 trillion is exactly the amount which is quoted in spot forex which we trade. That is 1.49. Still quite bigger than New York Stock Exchange. Next. So now we'll start with very basic, so that everyone's on the same page. We all know the 8 most frequently traded currencies. We all know this, right? It's USD, Euro, JPY, GBP, and franc, CAD. These are the major ones, like where liquidity is highest. Yeah. Next. Now, what is a base currency? What is a core currency? How to read first of all, what is being traded. So over here let's see an example of USD/CHF, right? That means if the rate is USD/CHF equals to 1.6350, that means then 1 USD is equal to 1.6350 CHF. Yeah? Everyone's clear on this, right? Very basic. Next. Transaction cost. Now, what is a transaction cost? What is spread? Basically, whenever let's say I am going abroad, I am going to United States. I want to convert my money into US dollars. Whenever I go to this Thomas Cook and all these places, they always have two things, right? 45-40 or 48-51, right? The difference between 45-48 and 48-51 is the spread. It's like how much I would sell, how much would I get when I'm selling $1 US, or how much would I have to pay to get $1. Right? The difference between this is called transaction cost, and it's also called spread. We all know, like generally people ask, okay, what is the spread in live forex? So the difference between the selling cost and the buying cost equals to spread. And pips, what is pips as well? We speak only in terms of pips. Right? Pips is the last decimal change in the last decimal position. It's called, if there is one point change, it would be 1 pip difference. So for example, here let's just take 1.2812 is the price which I bought something, let's say one pair I bought. Now the prices go up. It's like 1.2813, difference of 1 pair. Right? The last point 1.2812 to 1.2813. 1/5. Understand? Clear? Right? Very basic. First of all, if there is any kind of doubt which arises in anyone's mind, feel absolutely free, because this kind of events are very rare. We want everyone to understand what is what. Okay? Just feel free to ask. So spread is ask price minus bid price. It's spread. Okay? Next. So cross currencies. We understood what are the major currencies. Now we'll come to cross currencies. Cross currencies is anywhere in which US dollar is not involved. Okay? When US dollar is not involved, that is a cross currency. So we have the major ones and then the cross ones. Now you understand what happens is, when the two currencies, both of them are not involving dollars, they're actually involving dollar twice. For example, there is euro oblique JPY, right? Now in one of the slides we saw 83% of the transaction is happening on the basis of dollars, right? Our thing is euro oblique JPY. Now when I put a trade, it actually goes to euro oblique USD, USD oblique JPY. So you are actually setting two trades of USD when you are taking cross currency. Understood the point? So let's say we took cross currency euro oblique JPY. There is no USD trade. So when I hit one trade of euro oblique JPY, I am hitting euro oblique USD, USD oblique JPY. So there are two trades of. So when you are not hitting USD once, you are actually hitting USD twice. Okay? Get it? That's how cross currencies work. Next. What is margin? Okay, it's a very important term, very frequently used, margin. Each time you execute a new trade, certain percentage of the account balance is reserved. It's called margin. Now, I'll get into very basic format how margin is. Now, let's forget this bit. Trading it's complicated. Let's say I'm a shopkeeper, right? Now I'm a shopkeeper. I sell rice. Okay. What happens is, how would I make profit? I buy rice cheaper and I sell it costly. That's how I make profit, right? Now the amount of money which I have used to buy that rice, the amount of money which I have spent, that fixed amount of money is called my margin in trade. Fixed amount of money which is set aside to buy a particular pair is called margin. Okay? So every time I execute any trade, I set apart a standard amount of money, that is called my margin. Now if the price of the rice goes up, I make profit. If the price of the rice is going down, I make loss. Yeah. So that is basic and very raw definition of margin, so that you can understand. Okay. Now, how many of you are familiar with leverage? I think everyone. Any idea about? Anyone can explain what is leverage in very raw language? Whatever you understand, explain what is leverage. I want to make this session a bit interactive because it's only me speaking. Anyone who can make me understand what is leverage in your definition. Let it be right, let it be wrong, whatever it is whatever you want to share. Anything. I'll take this mic over here. Anything, your definition. I don't know. What do you understand by it? No problem. So basically, leverage is the risk. If I take the broad example of leverage is your risk. Okay. More the leverage, more is your risk. Less the leverage, less is your risk. Okay. Now, what happens is, where does this fundamental of leverage comes in the role? Now, if I want to trade $10, okay, do you think we can trade with $10 in such a huge forex market which is trading with 4 trillion? You understand? You're putting $10 and you're asking a broker firm to put those $10 in this huge market. Now, let's calculate. I send $10 to the bank first transaction. It takes away my $2 because of transaction. Then this bank actually gives this $8 remaining to investment bank. Another transaction happened. Let's say they cut $2, $6 remaining. Now $6 you want to put it in the market. Transaction cost again. $6 comes down to $2, like $4. Your $4 would stick for probably some microseconds in the market. Microseconds, or not even microseconds, like vanish. Now imagine your spread is 3 pips, right? Now 4 pips, the spread, like you paid the amount for the spread. From $4, $3 removed, $1. $1 in the main forex market, and it would not even remain for microseconds. That is even large amount of time essentially. So when forex brokers say that you can start trading with $10, that means you have to take leverage. Okay? Leverage basically is the amount of risk that you take plus is the number of times we block. You block basically an amount for you. For example, $10 and your leverage is, okay, let's take this example. Your leverage is 200. Okay, 1:200. Now you want to trade with $10,000. But when this leverage is applied, 10,000 into 0.5%, that is 1 divided by 200. 0.5, right? 10,000 into 0.5%. So basically, if you want to trade with $10,000, you can start by $50 if you take the risk of 200. That is how leverage plays the role. But it's very beautiful, right? If I want to trade with 10,000, I can just start with $50. How is it possible? It's possible because the risk is also 200 times. Okay. If there is a price movement of 1, you are actually winning or losing 200 times. I mean 200 times faster. More you take the risk. It's both the ways, It's trading. Right? Trading is all about risk, but a calculated risk. Only thing which sets apart gambling and trading is how you manage your risk. As it is gambling, right? But if you only one thing which would set apart gambling and trading is how you are managing your risks. It's all on you, because forex trading is so safe that you can apply all the measures and make it very safe. Okay. So a little bit idea you got what is leverage. Now understood something about leverage. Okay. What is the basic thing is you need to understand what is leverage in terms of application. You don't want to get into deep thought, but what is the application of leverage? Leverage is your risk. That is first thing, and that is the amount of time you lose or when you're basic to important, right? Next. Now, there's the same thing which I have explained, the ratio, right? Next. Now we'll come to market analysis. I have told you the basic terms, what is margin, what is leverage, what is pips, what is how you see, how you understand the code, the currency, right? Now we'll come to the market analysis. Now there are 3 types of analysis: technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and sentimental analysis. If you ask which is the best one, there is nothing is the best. Okay? That's why there is a spoon. If you remove one, the spoon will fall. That's why this picture is very good. So you have to take care of all the 3 things together. Nothing works independently. So we'll start with technical analysis. Okay? Technical analysis. Why is it called technical analysis? Because first of all, it's in your terminal. Okay, everything, all these things are built inside the terminal. So you just have to click some buttons, and this analysis would be in front of you. MetaTrader provides all these things. It gives all the tools. So, technical analysis, the basic thing is your MetaTrader basically observes what has been done in the past, and on the basis of the past, it predicts the future. For example, from past 1 month, the market is moving in such a way, so it should remain in such a way. That's how a technical analysis works. Okay? It predicts on the basis of the past. It predicts future on the basis of the past. Right? Next slide. Next. Yeah. So let's say this small pattern, right? Price went up, down, and then moved up. Next. I think there's a little bit more problem. I'll change the presentation. Give me this slide. Come to the same thing. Yeah. Now we'll start with fundamental analysis. What is fundamental analysis? I'll give a brief description of what is technical, fundamental in the last one. In fundamental analysis, let's take a classic example. The best example which happened very recently, Japan. Right? The tsunami came in Japan, Fukushima reactor was hit. So, what is forex market? For example, if something is going down, the currency is, if the country is sinking, the currency is sinking, right? The currency basically resembles what is country. Right? What is the situation of the country is basically the situation of the currency. Right? That is the fundamental example. Now, what happens is, I take fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis says the country has been hit, the currency should go down. But what happened actually? Does it happen? Did it happen? No, it didn't happen. For 72 hours, the market was rallying up. It didn't go down. For 3 days straight, the market was rallying up. People lost millions and billions in those 3 days. So let's see why it happened. Why market rallied up? Now, for example, if there is fire in my house, okay, my house is burned, what would I do? First thing I would do is I'll call up people, fix some things, but for fixing that thing I need money, right? So what would I do is wherever I have invested, whatever properties I have, I'll just sell something or basically withdraw my own funds from everywhere. That's what happened with Japan. Whatever investment they have done, they withdrew all the money back. Once the money is coming inside the country, what is happening? The currency is getting strengthened. For 72 hours, they were withdrawing all the money from all the banks possible. For 72 hours, their currency was straight going up. People bet what? That it should go down. But for 72 hours, it didn't go down. And after that, for 1 month, it went down. So one analysis is not enough. We have to go on all the analysis. Fundamental analysis says that okay, it should go up. Technical analysis said no, it should not. It would go down. Right? So fundamental analysis is the basic idea that okay, which country, what is the situation in which country, what is happening. For example, when in US the unemployment data comes out, what would happen? If the unemployment has increased, basically the currency should go down. And it happens all the time. That's why USD was slipping down for quite a long time and now it has gaining the position back. Right? So, but fundamental analysis is only one kind of analysis. So, basic idea what I am trying to say, the fundamental analysis is the economic condition of that particular country. Okay? Clear? Sentimental analysis, which is going up, which is going down. You know, you same thing, fundamental analysis. So, what happens is that, how many of you know George Soros? Any idea? Who's this guy? This is a person, George Soros. Basically, we traders, we small traders don't have the capacity to sink down a country. But there are big traders who have the capacity to sink down the complete economic conditions of country. George Soros is a US person from US, and he is very big as a trader. In one night, in just one night, George Soros bankrupted UK completely. Still called Black Wednesday. You can Google it. The day is called Black Wednesday. And this guy single-handedly, one person only, he bankrupted complete UK economy. That's forex market. That's how it works. And Goldman Sachs, we know these banks, Goldman Sachs, that these people have the capacity to move the complete market. They single-handedly can move the market. Okay, next. So, as being a trader, you need to know when the market is going up, when the market is going down. Right? Next. Again, the same question, which type of analysis is best? All three of them not best. Three together is the best. Single-handedly, none of them is best. Next. Now, okay, let's start studying what are charts, how the charts have been read, how the technical analysis starts. So, we'll come with basic charts, line charts. What are line charts? They're single lines, right? They're showing how the market is moving, how it moves. Simple line chart, as I explained. Next. That's how they look, right? You can always change the kind of graph it is line chart, and I don't recommend anyone to use them because they are of not using any use. You cannot understand anything from line. Okay. Next. Bar charts. Bar charts are a little bit more complex, but actually gives a little bit clearer picture of how the market is behaving in one movement, how the movement is happening. See, this is how a bar chart looks like. We'll magnify it and see what is the meaning of one click over. Yeah, next. Next. Okay, look at this. It says low, open, high, close. This is how a bar chart is, right? The low is the lowest position where in that particular in one instant, how much money, what has been the variation. Open is where the graph opened, okay? In that 1 second, the minimum amount of market it has reached, highest in where it closed. Okay? Understood? Any doubts? It's very simple. It says open, low, high, close. Okay? So when I'm seeing, I can actually see, okay, where is it opening? I know the exact price and where is it opening. And if I see open and close, I can measure it. Is it 3 pips or is it 2 pips? No? The difference basically. How much has it? Now this is very important. Support and resistance level. How many of you draw support and resistance level when you're trading? Anyone who is drawing? You're drawing? Okay. And support and resistance level is basically it shows how much you are experienced basically. Support and resistance level we create by ourselves. Nobody tells us where to create support, where to create resistance. You understand the market from like last 1 month, last 2 months. How is it behaving? So you know the maximum amount of price range it would go and the minimum amount of price range it would go. So you basically draw 2 lines. And it should not go beyond this, it should not go below this. You're basically drawing 2 lines. So the up line is called resistance and the bottom line is called support. So for example, it's slipping. At this point, it should get a support and it should jump back. Resistance is the maximum amount of price variation where it's going and it should fall out. It's basically support and resistance. You create it by yourself. It is not something. It is not something which you should rely on a lot. Rely on. You should rely on according to you, but it's not very precise. Okay? It's not precise. It gets the support and resistance levels. You must have experienced. They get broken very easily. They get broken if you are not very experienced. As I explained, resistance, support, resistance. Yeah, okay. So this is how, like for example, if I'm a very experienced trader and I have created my support, so I see that okay, the graph moved up, it tested my support region twice and it moved up. So what is this support line? I can place my stop loss over here. See, if I've created a support line, I can put my stop loss over here. So that if it goes below this, my trade should automatically stop. Right? Very basic thing. Next. So you see, like support got broken. Now, how many of you think that support really got broken over here? Support actually didn't get broken. Now, you see, what happens is sometimes the support and resistance levels get checked. Market checks it. So, over here, market checked, but it actually, if I would have put my trade over here, I would have bought. It actually rallied down till here. It is how much pips I would have gained? I would have gained 300 pips. If my support level is perfect. These are not fake charts. These are actually real charts of the market. It's not we have created, it is the exact charts of the market. It's a real situation. So if I would have created a good support line, I have good amount of experience. Market rallied 300 pips. 300 pips. If one pip has a $10 standard lot, I actually gained up in just probably 2 days $3,000 approximately. Yeah. Next. Now there can be multiple amount of resistance zones and multiple amount of support zones as well. It is something which you can check again and again. See, for example, this resistance zone is for normal amount of variation which is happening. But you can put actually your stop loss. If you are a big trader, you can put your stop loss and take profit over there in these lines. Same thing over here, support zone. This is 2 support zones are being created. This is the rock bottom support zone. If something goes beyond this, definitely stop. Over here, I can handle the risk. So you can actually think how much risk you can handle. See, by creating 2 support zones and 2 resistance zones, you are actually putting how much risk you can trade with. You definitely have to use stop losses. Definitely. I mean, a lot of traders do that. Even I have done when I was trading initially. Didn't put stop loss. You sleep. Didn't put stop loss. You wake up. The account is zero. And then we say, oh, my broker is so bad. The company is so bad. So this is not something from the side of any company. It is our foolishness that we are actually ending up all our money. Use stop losses. Very important technique. Should not forget about using stop loss. Next. Most important thing, Japanese candlesticks. Nobody even uses bar charts. Japanese candlestick is the only thing which you use generally. Next. Now, this is how a Japanese candlestick. You can always edit your graphs. You can always change the colors because changing colors, it makes it easy. Just put a right click on the chart. What the chart is seeing, right click, and there will be a complete drop down menu of editing your chart. Now, this is basically same. For example, if you have bought something, so if I have bought something, it should basically go up, right? So over here, open, close, the highest amount, the lowest amount, right? It opened over here, it closed over here, the lowest amount, lowest price which went, and the highest price which went. If I am buying, that's why it's green. If I am buying, things which are rising. If I am selling, it should go down, right? That's why we have indicated it in red. You should do this in your chart so that you can always identify the color difference. It makes the thing easier for you. Open, close. Open would be up, close would be down, the lowest would be the highest. That's how this looks. Next. So, as I said, candlesticks are formed, use open, high, low, and close. If the close is above, if the close is above, you're buying. If the close is down, selling. The hollow or filled section of the candlestick is the real body. The thin lines above and below are basically how much the market is moving up and how much the market is the rock bottom price. Next. Okay. Now we know these were the very basics, right? I'll tell you two techniques. Fibonacci. Anyone who has used Fibonacci before? Anyone? Anyone of you using Fibonacci? It's very simple. I mean, it's very simple to use a Fibonacci chart. It's not a chart. You can use Fibonacci at any moment, wherever you want. Now, what Fibonacci does is, it basically tells you, it makes levels which will show where the market is volatile. It should change. You can apply Fibonacci to your chart by clicking just by playing this 3 clicks, which I can show you over here. Next. Uptrend. But for example, can I have this line off? Can you see this yellow line? Orange line? Is it visible? Is it visible? Is it visible? Yeah. Okay. Now what happens is the market is going up. Okay, you can see the market is going up. Now I want to, what I did, I clicked on Fibonacci. Okay. Then I clicked on swing low, the lowest point. Okay. And then I clicked on the highest point. When I click this, what happens is these levels automatically form on my chart. Automatically. 0.236, 0.380, 0.5, 0.7. These levels automatically form on my chart. Okay, next, let's see what happens next. Next. So, as I said, these were the levels. These lines got formed automatically. Now, when there is an uptrend, these levels are actually the levels from where the market would actually start moving again up. Okay, so let's see this. This level, that level failed definitely. This level failed, but the third level it kept. And from here, if I would have bought a position from here, it actually moves quite up. This Fibonacci, you don't have to calculate or do anything. It's very simple. You just have to make 2 clicks. That's it. You learn a chart which is of, let's say I'm using a chart which is of 7 days. I saw the lowest point, I saw the highest point, I clicked lowest and the highest. These lines would get automatically created. Okay, and from there you can actually see, you can see where the slide is, where this is going. If, for example, if the market starts moving over here, what a smart trader would do is, he would not place exactly over here, but he would place his order probably over here. He'll see which position is holding. Getting a point? Understanding what I'm saying? Fibonacci, is it clear? Okay, we can show as well. I mean, we'll show on MetaTrader 4 right now how to do it. Let's take another chart. Try a new chart, USD, any other currency. Okay, take 1 year or week or month. Push it back. Insert. So you can find Fibonacci in insert. Now take this here. Let's take this. We will be taking it down right. No, take it till here. Take it till here. That's it. Yes. What we did, we clicked on insert. We clicked on Fibonacci, and from Fibonacci, we took the highest point. We clicked on the highest point. Then we clicked on the lowest point, and this chart, these lines get automatically created. Now this is this is a real chart in front of you, right? Now see the magic of this Fibonacci. From here to here, see this point is getting hold. From here, market is moving down because we took a downtrend, right? It took bottom up, then bottom. You see these lines? These lines are the lines where the market is changing. Can you see this? I mean, if you put a trade over on this line over there, you actually earn from there to here. That would be quite good amount of difference. Understood how is it used? Lights, please. Understood? Like these lines are actually holding here. You know, like it made levels automatically, and if you put a trade over there, you actually earn quite good amount of returns. Now, is it clear? I mean, how Fibonacci is used? You can just go at home, see how Fibonacci, and just click on insert, go Fibonacci, and just see a past chart, bottom or up, and then all these lines are in front of you. This is one very good way to earn profits always. Second will come. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Now, when there's an uptrend, we will actually try the low trend, right? We click first on the top, then we click on the bottom, and these lines got created. Similarly, there's uptrend when the market is moving up. You click at the bottom, you end it at the top, and the lines get created. You get the levels from where the market should shoot up. Is it getting heavy? We can take a 5 minutes break, and we can start again. Is it okay if it's getting heavy? You can ask the doubts or something, and then we can start. Is it fine? Is it fine for you? Right? Okay. So move next. Downtrend, right? We saw that with the chart that the graph is moving down, so we clicked on the top and we clicked on the bottom. These levels got created. Next. See, from here, start to move. You are getting straight away. You are getting a level. You are straight away in your terminal. You are getting a point from where you should buy or where you should sell. I mean, you are automatically getting these levels in your chart. So it's like you don't even need a robot. You don't need a robot, then you can do all these things sitting in front of your computer. Next. Now this was one thing. Fibonacci was one thing. So now you know from where to buy, where to sell. Okay. Now we'll be moving to moving averages. What moving averages tell is basically the trend of the market. How is the trend? Where is the market moving? There are two types of moving averages. One, simple moving averages. Second is exponential moving averages. Simple moving averages is a slow kind of thing. It tells you how the market is moving in a long term. Exponential moving averages tell you how is the market moving in short term. Okay? Now what is average basically? In a very, we all understand what is average. So let's say market move at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we'll do is add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5 is average, right? That's how we take an average. So when we take moving averages, we are actually taking the average of the price movement. How much price lower bottom divided by the number of values. So we get a smooth curve, you know, from where to where market is moving. Right? That is the basic idea of what is averages. Next.